Alright, top 3 reasons you should buy a KTM 690 right now. This video is to tell you the top 3 reasons why you should buy a new KTM 690 now. Alright, so reason number 1. This is a big reason. Reason number 1 why you should buy a new KTM 690 right now is that the 2018 models can be found for $9,000 all day long. So if you've looked up the specs on the 2019, which honestly I kind of really haven't, but I know a little bit about them. I'm telling you right now, is that worth $3,000? So $3,000 difference basically between the 2018 and the 2019. And really, how much more bike are you getting? I mean, these things were unchanged essentially for, I mean, they were changed, but basically unchanged for 10 years. So are they really that bad? I mean, for the first few years, I know at least, they're practically unobtainable. And I mean, so they're a pretty good bike. I know that some of my videos might sound like I don't get along with this bike very well, but I have nothing against this bike. It's a pretty awesome bike. I don't really want to get rid of it. I want 2 bikes. I just don't know if I can afford 2 bikes. So I'm riding this right now, and I just rode with some of the local dudes, and I'm finding that I'm not really going that slow on the 690. So I'll splice in some clips with me kind of dicing with some guys on some really dusty, slick stuff. We're talking grass and hard pan with dust on it. And you know, I'm on this big old bike, and I cut the airbox open and stuff, and this is the first time I've ridden it since that. But yeah, so the 690, $3,000 off right now. That could you can do a lot of stuff with that $3,000. So that's reason number 2 to buy a KTM 690 Enduro right now, is the fact that you're getting it $3,000 cheaper. You know, all the aftermarket pipes and all that stuff is already made for these models. They're out there. You can get the acros, you can get the wings, you know, all this stuff, and you're gonna have an extra $3,000 to spend. So you can get a pipe, you can get an intake kit, you can get the Kev's O2 controller, you know, pipes, hand guards, better tires. You know, you can get a lot of stuff for $3,000 that, you know, and if you get the new bike, the 2019, you're not going to have access to any of these aftermarket parts and stuff. So, I mean, you're gonna have to wait before you can trick the thing out if you don't like the way it is in stock trim. So why not? And you know, reason number 3, since I don't have a real good reason number 3, is I haven't looked at the specs yet, but this might be a little bit lighter. I mean, if you're not going to use the thing for an adventure bike, which you shouldn't buy the 2019 model as an adventure bike, because they just came out with the 790. That's the adventure bike. So this is, the 2019 is going to be an enduro, right? It's not an adventure bike. So if you want that like enduro, well, basically this 2018 is an enduro. The little bit smaller fuel capacity and stuff. If you're not adventure riding, like I'm riding this thing all day, 120 miles of asphalt, and then I rode like 40 miles of dirt and chasing these other guys around on One guy's on a 250 SX, two guys on 450 SXs, another guy on a 450 CR, and one on a KX 250F. And you know, I'm charging around on this thing, pretty capable bike for essentially 350 pounds. And you know, I was hitting a jump on this thing, a wood ramp. I don't really have any good footage of that, so I'll have to look to see if I got any clips. But you know, pretty. I had this thing pretty far off the ground, high enough off the ground that the tail light actually blew out of it when I landed. So you know, I've had this thing off the ground, and it's like, you know, are you gonna ride it enduro or are you gonna ride it adventure? I mean, I don't really know if you need the extra fuel capacity if you're just kind of enduroing it around. You don't want to carry all that weight. That's why this thing like handles so much better than the KLR and stuff, because you just don't have all that fuel all over the place. So it's a capable bike, and even with the few little mods that I've done with the O2 controller and the airbox and stuff, my last basically moto session and high-speed highway session, I was between 60 and 105 miles an hour the whole time. So pretty on the gas. This thing still averaged 45 miles a gallon. And when I ride it around town, just, you know, putting around and getting on the gas a little bit, it's getting closer to 55 miles of the gallon on average. So the 150 mile range on it, it's legit. I had, when I filled my tank just now, you know, 130 miles exactly, and I put 2.89 gallons in it, I think. So yeah, the 690 current one is a pretty good bike. You're not going to be in a disadvantage. It's not like you're getting that much more. I mean, maybe the new suspension's a little better and stuff, but I still doubt it's set up like a super rad motocross bike, because that's not what they're setting it up for. So it's like probably going to have to do suspension stuff to the new one too. So once again, my top 3 reasons to buy a 2018 690 right now. Number 1, you're going to save basically $3,000 right off the bat. And because these dealers have incentives to get rid of them from KTM. Number 2 reason, you're gonna have that $3,000 to buy, you know, sweet stuff like pipes and shit for it. You know, get a killer Akrapovic exhaust all the way through, and the airbox kit and all that stuff. Just a bunch of works parts. And you can buy the shifter that I recommend that you get, which is the 450 shifter. I'll show you. I used it today off-road for the first time, and it was awesome. And you know, number 3, is it really gonna be a worse bike? Like, maybe it has better mapping and stuff that you can select on the handlebar, but I don't change maps on this thing at all. I got it on advanced, and I leave it on advanced, and I don't want to change it. I mean, I don't want to put this thing in like sissy mode. It already doesn't bark like a 2-stroke like I'm used to, so it's real smooth. It's just a big old, you know, basically a 700cc engine. It pulls off the bottom. You might be able to see in the footage, like I'm basically just bogging it through corners and rolling it on, and in like 3rd gear and stuff, going down these straightaways and catching these 450s. And I still don't have the suspension set up. I just don't know how, like if I lost my touch on how to set it up or what, but this thing is just throwing me all over the place, and those guys weren't squirting away, even though I damn near shook myself off the damn bike about 4 times. Maybe you could use that money to buy an awesome steering stabilizer, a Scott steering stabilizer, all that money that you save. So I don't know that the new bike's gonna be that much better. Probably gonna have to do the same mods. Everybody seems to put pipes and stuff on all this stuff from the factory anyway, just to take all the smoggy off. And so you might as well get a 2018 and save yourself some bucks. And then you got all the aftermarket, access to all the current aftermarket stuff that's been being made for 10 years. So I guess that's my argument. Unless you got to have the latest and greatest, you know, and boldest new graphics, then you might as well get the 2018 and save some bucks. So anyway, that's all I got for you on this topic, and we'll see you next time. If you agree with me, then you know, hit like and subscribe, and if you don't, leave a comment down there. Let me know why you think the new one's that much better than this one. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't see it. I guess if you got the money burning a hole in your pocket, then do it. But I don't know if I can justify the added expense. I'm having quite a bit of fun on this thing. I motored this thing pretty hard today, so it was pretty fun. I'm pretty impressed with the big old girl. So anyway, I'm signing out, leaving you at 10 minutes exactly. Aloha.